And if we look at it from a cloud aspect, what we found is that this could be very similar. So the same stack of services that we look at for email, we've noticed we have to look at for a cloud. So in this picture, what we have is someone who's got an Azure deployment for an application, and we want to say, okay, how do we protect that? Does it really look any different? And when we start mapping it out, we end up with basically the same solution sets in different orders and used in different ways. So sometimes people say, well, how do I make APIs safe? It's actually a really common question to get nowadays. Everybody wants to use an API for something. Everybody wants to give people access. Then it turns out APIs are really dangerous, and you know, if you just open all of your databases or MongoDBs or platform as a service to the internet, that's a real dangerous thing. What we found in looking at the kill chain for that is developers have been free, right? Because a long while ago, people said, I don't really want to manage development anymore. Developers started using the cloud. All IT guys said, great, we don't have to do anything. But now we have to go secure the cloud, so we want to put our stuff there too. Is basically how that works. And so when we look at it, we're looking at basically environments with free development, boxes spinning up, spinning down, dynamic, destructible containers like Kubernetes clusters or AKS. All of these things are really hard to protect against. Because it's not like you can install AV agents on an elastic expanding AKS cluster. It doesn't happen nowadays. And so what we want to look at here is what can we do about it? How can we take a WAF or a web application firewall to put in front of things, including platform as a service? How can we look at seeing that east-west and north-south traffic? That's actually one of the big things that we see as an issue when we're looking at cloud attacks. No one's paying attention to north, south, east, west anymore. Because once it hits the quote-unquote AKS cluster, the development guys are taking care of it. That's usually what we end up hearing. And then when we dig into the firewall itself, what we find is everything generally ends up in a single big old subnet in AWS, in Azure. And there's some security needed there. Because we want to make sure that if one of those AKS systems gets hit and starts hitting your database, can you see it? How can you see it? What can you do about it? In this case, everything we're talking about on the left should be blocking. Right? It's a lot easier versus email. A lot easier in this picture because there's no users involved really. There's users outside that are using the website. But when you really talk about between the different layers here or on the left side of that red bar, it's everything that's under your and development's control. We find that you can't really rely on best coding practices. Doesn't work real well. You know, you can follow the OWASP top 20, things like that. But realistically, IT security has to implement in here and actually do something about it.